on the budget. What is the fiscal picture that Donald Trump faces with all the plans that he has? Put that in context for us in terms of the budget picture.
I remember a long time ago when I was chairman of the Budget Committee, sitting down with the newly elected President Bush, who had said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." And I remember telling him, "Mr. President, I know you made that pledge, but if you're going to be able to have the resources you need, I don't care what your priorities are. If you're going to be able to have the resources, you have got to deal with the growing deficit and the growing debt in this country." And ultimately, to his credit, the president did deal with that, as did President Clinton. And as a consequence, we produced a balanced budget and a surplus. This president is entering office with a huge national debt, $20 trillion. And it's on a path to go up, not to come down, but to go up. We're looking at $1 trillion deficits. We're looking at that national debt doubling in a period of 10 years. If this president does not sit down with the leadership of the Congress and develop a budget agreement that puts everything on the table, entitlements, taxes, discretionary spending, defense spending, puts everything on the table, and comes up with a budget deal to try to set some path of certainty for the future that reduces that debt, reduces the deficit, but more importantly then provides the resources he needs, then what's going to happen is this debt will undermine his ability to have a strong economy. It's that simple.
You know politics so well. Republicans now control the House and the Senate. They've got a Republican president. There are some deficit hawks on the Hill. How strong do you think they will be in having the kind of conversation you had with President Bush about the constraints, the budget constraints on an ambitious president who wants to do a lot?
I think it's extremely important for this president to understand. I mean, he identified the debt as a problem. Now, admittedly, a lot of the things he proposed would increase that debt. But he understands that that debt will slow growth, will increase interest rates, and will rob him of resources. I think the leadership on the Hill, Capitol Hill, has to make very clear that there are several things he has to do. Number one, he's got to make the American people aware of the consequences of not dealing with this debt, to create a political support system for him. He's got to, in his first budget, lay out goals that he wants to achieve that make clear that he is going to gradually reduce that deficit. And then thirdly, frankly, he's got to engage on a bipartisan basis with Democrats and Republicans and come up with a budget agreement. That would set a future for this country fiscally that I think would guarantee that our economy could be strong in the future.